All right, let's jump right in. We're about to unpack an idea that, on the surface, sounds totally wrong, but it's secretly one of the most powerful strategies used by the world's top companies. We're going to talk about the art of losing. On purpose.
And it all really kicks off with his core idea. If your entire game plan is built around never taking a loss, never messing up, never giving an inch, you're not actually playing to win big. You're just playing not to lose. And trust me, there is a world of difference between the two.
And look, this is not just some feel-good quote for a poster. We're talking about the biggest names out there, the tech giants, the game-changing retailers. Their histories are absolutely littered with products that bombed, deals they walked away from, and offers that seemed crazy at the time. But it wasn't a mistake. It was the plan.
So this brings us right to the heart of the matter, and it's a big question for you to ask yourself. When you take a hit in your business or your work, is it a calculated move that's part of a bigger strategy, or is it just an uncontrolled emotional setback? How you answer that, well, that's what separates the amateurs from the pros.
To really get this, we first have to tear down a belief that's been drilled into us our whole lives, this myth that you have to win at all costs.
Let's give it a name, the winning fallacy. You know that little voice in your head, the one that screams that every single project has to turn a profit, every single negotiation must be a victory, and any step backward is a complete and utter failure. That mindset, it's a trap. It keeps you small and prevents you from making the bold, scary moves that are absolutely required for massive growth.
So how do we actually do this? How do we lose strategically? Let's dive into the first play from the playbook. Sometimes you just have to pay the price of admission. We call this a market entry loss. The idea is simple. You deliberately take a financial hit right now to buy something far more valuable for the future, a foothold in a new market. You're not losing money, you're buying a beachhead. You're investing in your future access. So how does this actually look in the real world? Well, you might aggressively undercut prices right out of the gate. You're not making money today, but you're stealing customers and market share for tomorrow. Or you could launch a huge discount campaign that actually loses you money on every new person that signs up, all because you're establishing a presence that will pay off for years and years to come.
Now for our second strategy, which builds on this idea. This one is all about completely reframing what failure even means. It's about failing for data.
I absolutely love this quote because it flips the whole script. You know that product you launched that completely flopped, that new service that nobody wanted? That wasn't a failure. It was just a really expensive but really valuable focus group.
And that's the whole idea behind a data acquisition loss. You are investing in knowledge. You're basically paying to learn exactly what your customers don't want, so your next move can be to build exactly what they do want. The money you lost was really just tuition for a very important lesson. And just think about it. Especially when you're starting out with a new company or a new product line, the data you gather is often worth way more than any tiny profit you could scrape together. Early on, knowledge is a far more valuable asset than immediate cash. That data is what you build the future empire on.
Now our third strategy, give to dominate, takes this a step further. This isn't just about getting a foothold or gathering some data. This is about owning the entire room. It's about using loss to position your brand so powerfully that you become the only real choice.
This is a brand positioning loss. Here, the goal isn't just a single sale or one piece of data. The goal is to become the automatic, #1, top-of-mind choice for your customer. You strategically take a loss in order to build a brand that is so strong and so loved that it becomes basically unshakable.
And you see these tactics for dominance everywhere. A company might run aggressive discount campaigns to become the undisputed leader for value. Or they might give away tons of free, high-value content to establish themselves as the expert in their field. Or they could use incredibly generous introductory offers to create fierce customer loyalty right from the start.
So, the bottom line is this. It's a trade-off. You are trading a small, manageable loss today for an untouchable, dominant market position tomorrow. It's the ultimate power play.
So what does all this lead to? What's the real reward for thinking this way? It's what we can call the decisive edge. Because the ultimate prize you win isn't just market share or brand loyalty. The ultimate prize is speed.
This is just a fundamental truth of business and probably life. If you are terrified of making a mistake, of taking even a tiny loss, you will overanalyze everything. You'll hesitate. You'll wait for perfect information that's never going to arrive. You will move slowly.
And this creates two totally different kinds of operators. You've got the fearful operator who's paralyzed by what-ifs. They avoid loss at all costs, they're slow, they're always chasing perfection, and because of all that, they think small. But then you have the strategic operator. They expect things to go wrong. They move fast, they look for progress, not perfection, and because of that, they think big.
And that is the secret sauce. They've already factored in the possibility of a loss. It's not a surprise when it happens, it's just part of the plan, part of the budget. Accepting that there's going to be friction frees them up to act decisively and quickly, and they snatch up opportunities while everyone else is still stuck running the numbers.
Okay, so how can you actually put this to work? Here's a dead simple playbook. Step 1, define your goal. What are you playing for? Is it market entry, data, or brand dominance? Step 2, calculate the cost. What's an acceptable budgeted loss to achieve that goal? Step 3, execute with speed. Once you have a plan, go for it. Embrace the friction. And finally, step 4, measure the true win. Don't look at the short-term balance sheet. Track the long-term gains in market share, in customer love, or in priceless data.
And that brings us to the final thought to leave you with. This isn't about being reckless. It's about being incredibly strategic. It's about understanding that in the long game of business, sometimes the smartest move isn't to win this one little battle, but to strategically lose it in order to win the whole war. So the question is, where will you choose to lose next, on purpose, to set yourself up for your biggest win yet?